How y'all doing? This is a good crowd. We're glad you're here. This is our fourth and final presentation. I would remind the students who are in the class, I've tried to tell your leaders this. Next week's classes are very important. Please do not skip. We'd like to do some evaluations together Monday and Wednesday, and then Friday we will announce the winners of the competition and tell you all how you did and give out that information. I also remind the class Tuesday night we will have the celebratory party at the house, and we'll give you a chance to talk to us about that experience as well. So please don't remember that. That will start at 6:30 Tuesday night. We are excited today.
He's old.
He said, please don't remember. So please don't remember that. Yeah, don't come to my house. Then I can eat all the food. Now I'm going to forget half of these folks, but we actually have two right families here. We have a couple of wrong families here, but we have some right families here. Both Sarah's family came over from Michigan, and Alyssa's family made the longest drive. They came from Watertown, so we're glad they're here. Nathan's family, the Stevens, are here. The Arbogast are here. Who did I forget? The Masseys are here. And Mr. Laura is here. The future Mr. Sarah is here. So we have all kinds of family members here. We're really excited about today's presentation. This particular group has worked very, very hard on their concept, and they've done a great job of kind of pulling it together. We're excited to see how they do. Let's have a word of prayer. What? Oh, Jeff wants me to, or Dr. Dross wants me to introduce you. So if you are a business alum from Maranatha, could you stand? Excellent. I typically make this mistake and then have to come back. We started a business advisory council about 5 years ago, and they have begun participating in these presentations. So today we have Richard Keddington, who happens to be the CEO of Watertown Regional Medical Center. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I was not. Most people don't clap for a lot more CEO.
And Matt Bondy has been here for all 4 presentations. So that, and every time he leaves, he says, "Man, that was fun." I don't know if the students agree, but he's the CEO of Mark Ward Manor, and we really appreciate his participation. So, let's pray. Father, we love you. We are so grateful for your goodness to us. Thank you, Father, for our visitors today, for our family members that are here, and Lord, especially for this team that has worked so hard this year. Thank you for that effort. Father, we thank you for your Son and for our salvation through him. We thank you that each one of these young people has a clear testimony of their salvation. Father, we pray today that as we go through this program, that you might give these students wisdom, that you might give them clarity of thought, being encouraging to them, we pray. Lord, might this be a good celebration of their hard work this semester, and we'll praise you for it in Jesus' name. Amen. Laura, you are up.
Good morning. We are Ready Medical Solutions, RMS. Today, my team and I are thrilled to offer a formal proposal to the investors here today, as well as share our value proposition, method of execution, and plans for the future. Across the nation, businesses are scrambling to find solutions to the spiking costs of employee health care, exacerbated by the Affordable Care Act. Today in Wisconsin, the manufacturing industry's second largest problem, according to Tricia Braun, is the rising cost of health care, second only to obtaining and maintaining workers. We are confident that preventative health assessments will lower the business's health care costs by avoiding catastrophic claims from occurring. An additional benefit would be the potential increase in recruitment and retention for the client, addressing the top 2 problems Wisconsin manufacturing businesses face today. We see the need for healthier employees, as well as the rising cost of health care. RMS bridges the gap to provide preventative health assessments in a matter way. RMS is a value-driven company seeking to provide accessibility and convenience to our clients through health assessments. Corporate wellness is a growing trend, and we provide the opportunities for businesses to build a program and encourage employee wellness. We're the first step towards healthy employees by creating awareness. According to Mr. Gary Franke, one of the major trends emphasized by both communities and the healthcare industry is population health management. Population health management, when undertaken by a business or a community, seeks to keep individuals out of hospitals by performing routine checkups and health monitoring. We respond directly to this trend by increasing health recognition and reducing medical costs by regularly testing employees. This adds long-term value to the overall health and wellness of the business, starting with its employees. Our mission, serving businesses, Ready Medical Solutions provides accessible medical testing for workforces. Located in the Milwaukee metropolitan area, RMS is a mobile health data collection service that visits the business's physical location and performs 5 basic tests on its employees in an on-site room to assess the health risk of each employee. Complying with HIPAA law, we will then relay the health evaluation from our attending physician who assesses the data we collect to the employee as well as the employer in an aggregate format. This will create awareness to the level of risk and give both the employee and the employer the opportunity to lower that risk. Our target market is manufacturing businesses with 50 to 200 employees. There are 600 such businesses within a 30-mile radius of our office. We will be focusing our marketing strategy in the communities of Menominee Falls, Waukesha, New Berlin, Oak Creek, and Mount Pleasant. Due to their size, smaller manufacturing companies don't have the resources to establish an on-site clinic like the larger companies do. However, they still have employees that could benefit greatly from the services we offer. Due to the ACE requirements, companies with 50 or more employees are required to provide health insurance, health care, giving us the ability to lower that cost. As society becomes increasingly interested in improving their health, we intend to capture this emerging market and make profits not only for ourselves, but also for the people here that are ready to jump in and make this vision a reality. We are offering a 55% share of the company for venture capitalists who invest a total of $225,000 in startup capital. Your investment, along with the owner's initial investment of $60,000, will be used to finance the startup costs of operations, IT, and marketing. Those of you joining the RMS vision will see through this presentation the potential 32% return on your investment annually, which translates to just over $850,000 in the 5-year forecasting period. I would now like to introduce our motivated team who will facilitate RMS daily operations. I will serve as president of RMS, leading and guiding the company through growth and opportunities. Mr. Tyler Arbogast serves as the chief financial officer, managing day-to-day financial operations as well as forecasting incremental results. Serving as the operations coordinator, Mr. Andrew Berlin will help meet customer expectations as well as company goals by managing and monitoring business operations. As our chief marketing coordinator, Mr. Nathan Steeman will promote RMS by creating and implementing marketing strategies as well as collecting and presenting data. Serving as the communications director and office manager, Ms. Alyssa Wright will maintain a culture of open communication and establish processes to effectively conduct business and communicate with clients. Last, Ms. Sarah Wright serves as the human resource coordinator, ensuring compliance and completion of human resources key tasks using her knowledge and experience. In addition to leading the company in our designated roles, Tyler Arbogast and Alyssa Wright will have duties in the office location, while Andrew Berlin, myself, Nathan Steeman, and Sarah Wright make up the data collection team. Ms. Wright will now come and discuss our value proposition, and Mr. Andrew Berlin will then cover our method of execution.
Thank you, Mrs. Juvenile. RMS will offer value to businesses by offering solutions to their needs in the areas of affordability, accessibility, productivity, and participation. Americans use preventative services at about half the rate they should. According to the CDC, The decision to wait until disaster strikes rather than using preventive care is a major factor that leads to Americans spending so much on healthcare expenses. In fact, treating chronic illnesses that might be preventable accounts for 86% of the nation's health costs. This high price of healthcare is a significant burden on employers. Executive Manager Bev Lehman echoed this sentiment regarding her company by stating, because of these high healthcare costs, it's hard for businesses like us to make it. You may be wondering how RMS will lower these high healthcare costs. Using diabetes as an example, according to the American Diabetes Association, nearly half of American adults have either diabetes or prediabetes, but only 5 million of the 18 million people in the U.S. with diabetes are aware that they have it. RMS's A1C blood test will give the employee blood sugar results, which will notify them if they have either prediabetes or diabetes. Early detection will not only reduce the employee's health risk, but also lower the high costs associated with these diseases. For diabetes alone, the cost of prediabetes treatment is $510 annually per person, while the price of diagnosed diabetes is $10,970 per person being tested. This $10,000 plus savings per person clearly indicates the value derived from early detection. The RMS health assessments will provide data-based results to create preventative care awareness for the employees and equip them to take the next step towards being healthier by our consulting physicians' recommendations and referrals. Another need for our target market is the inconvenience of having their employees take time off work to go be tested. From travel time to wait time to the actual testing time itself, much time is taken in going to the clinic. Michelle Nilsestoon said that the main reason why employees don't want to go be tested, even when this is at no additional cost to them, is because of the inconvenience of going to the clinic. RMS will solve this problem by bringing these mobile health assessments on-site to the business, maximizing time efficiency and having its full testing process per employee taking just 15 minutes. RMS will also solve the need for productivity efficiency by reducing the number of absenteeism. Lost productivity from employee sickness often goes unnoticed and written off as indirect expense. However, according to the CDC, productivity losses linked to absence cost U.S. employers $1,685 per employee annually. Absenteeism is an indirect financial loss by its loss of productivity, which not only affects the absent employee, but also the productivity of the other employees left to compensate this workload. RMS recognizes this direct correlation between healthy employees and productivity. The final need that RMS will solve is increasing employee participation for these tests. Nicole Chawala said the problem that they faced with employee participation for health assessments was that the employees thought that their health risk information was going to be shared with Marquardt Village. To combat that reasoning and facilitate the highest participation rate possible, RMS will guarantee information safety and security, reassuring the employee from the start that their information will be handled with appropriate privacy in accordance to established HIPAA law. Another way that RMS will boost employee participation is by having its sales associates work directly with the company's employer to determine customized incentives for their specific workforce. Well Wisconsin noted that by offering a financial incentive for each of their clients being tested, the participation rate increased significantly. RMS will also encourage the employer to provide a similar incentive for their workforce. Mr. Berlin will now come and present RMS's operations.
Thank you, Ms. Wright. Our testing process begins with direct communication with the business. Once we've made contact with the client, they will be directed to one of our team members, and they will be the main contact for the client up to the day of testing. This team member will answer any questions the client has, as well as schedule for 1, 2, or 3-day testing appointment, depending on the number of employees getting tested. Based on our estimated demand, we project to be testing approximately 3 days a week. On non-testing days, our team will work as marketing sales associates. On the day of testing, the medical team will load up in the van and drive to the business. 3 of our mobile team members will unload the mobile equipment and begin setting up in an on-site room. The other team member will meet with the business's main contact to talk through procedures. Once we are set up, the employee will begin by filling out general health information on an iPad. The iPad will include the employee's necessary information along with their consent to abide by our procedures, allowing our partnering physician the legal ability to view their collected data. Second, they will get their vitals tested, which includes blood pressure, heart rate, respiration rate, and temperature. The third station is the height and weight measurements, as well as the vision and hearing screening. Last will be the spirometer testing, AC1 and the CBC test. These tests take a total of 15 minutes to complete. The team member who facilitated these tests will then take the data and seal it until it is delivered at the end of the day to ACL testing facility. We will contract with an attending physician who will evaluate the data and sign off on physical assessments. As Abigail Green said, having an attending physician will validate and bring credibility to RMS as a business. The results and recommendations will be recorded and emailed back to the employee by the physician in a secure email. The employee information gathered will be given to the office director, who will send out follow-up surveys via text or email to receive feedback on our services. The employer will also be given a similar survey with added information relating to the entire process. This will give both the employee and client the opportunity to give feedback to identify any areas that can improve the overall experience. RMS will reach its customers through several channels. First, we will join the Milwaukee Metropolitan Association of Commerce. This organization provides opportunities for us to meet possible collaborators as well as clients. We will also reach out to HR managers by attending the HR Summit in Milwaukee as one of the sponsors. This gives us a perfect opportunity for us to promote our services directly to HR managers. We will also use our website along with social media marketing to inform customers about the importance of employee wellness and to communicate to them the benefits we provide. The 4 employees serving as part-time sales representatives will cover a designated area of our market. At this time, Mrs. Juvenile will come back and discuss our 5-year plan.
Our success can be seen in 5 specific milestones in addition to the pre-open phase. The pre-open phase consists of marketing and scheduling to new businesses, as well as the medical team earning our medical certifications. On January 2, 2020, we will conduct our first data collection day at a client's business. In year 2, we will not only schedule new clients, but will continue to build repeat clients while establishing our credibility in order to attract insurance company partnerships. According to our estimates, in year 3, we will hire 1 phlebotomist, which will expand our testing week to a capacity of 96 businesses. According to our estimates, in year 5, we would anticipate reaching our goal of over $2 million in sales. As the team develops and perfects our processes, we anticipate expanding RMS. As we respond to the market, we, the owners, plan to step out of the daily data collection process and hire already certified phlebotomists. As that happens, RMS has enough potential customers to grow to multiple mobile teams. In year 1, we are projecting to test 4,449 employees. A breakdown of our first year includes serving 34 employees a day, 76 businesses a year, with a total testing days of 132. This will result in over $1 million in revenue. Over the first 5 years of operations, we're projecting growth in the number of employees tested to continually increase due to our expected increase in participation rate, as well as our projected increase in demand by year 5. In year 5, our employees tested will be projected to reach 10,648, which translates to $2.3 million in revenue. In conclusion, we are confident that your investment will pay off not only in a profit return in the first 5 years, but also consider you are taking a lead role in improving the health and wellness of our neighboring communities for years to come. Are you ready to lead Wisconsin forward?
All right, well done. Come up here to the table. See if our panel has any questions.
So I have a opening question. So the physician communicates the results back to the employee, and RMS has additional follow-up. The assumption of me getting my healthcare costs under control really rests with what the employee does with the results from an email from the physician. teaching meeting, the assumption is that that knowledge of that result is going to result in me being motivated to do something about it.
We wanted to make it especially personalized to their specific results. So the physician might say, you're at risk for this, so we suggest getting help for this. So, and we have a partnering hospital that they'd be able to refer them to this person, this doctor is good at that type of thing. So they'd be able to kind of bridge the gap as far as making the connection. So it's not just you have a risk for this, they're also providing a solution. It is up to the employee to take that and run with it.
As a follow-up to that, on page 6, you say that you are creating incentives and education to motivate them to participate in the testing. Can you give examples of what your incentives and education are?
I can take that one. Yes, we were in contact with Well Wisconsin, who does something very similar to our business model. And a financial incentive can save a lot. So a lot of times the employer will give you a financial incentive. So for example, Well Wisconsin gives $150 to each employee that goes and gets tested. And so a financial incentive, and then as Laura mentioned, for information about their health risk, we actually have some examples right here from Aurora, which is a hospital that we have considered partnering with. Which will give them some solutions to how they can treat their chronic disease.
So who would be paying those incentives?
That would be the employer.
Okay, so this is an over and above cost in addition to the cost of
Can you explain your sales forecast a little bit more clearly on page 14? So how you come up with year one, just take the example of the one-day businesses. Could you explain those numbers and how you came up with 251,000?
Yes, that number is, for the one-day businesses, we can anticipate seeing a maximum of 75 employees a day. And so based on the average size of businesses within that range of 50 to 75, the average would be about 60 employees per day, or per business.
Okay.
And so when we schedule with the businesses, usually about 2 months in advance, they will give an initial $200 down payment, which will help secure the day of testing as well as cover just the cost of like transporting and setup. That $200 will then be used as a credit towards their overall bill, and so they will get that $200 back once the testing is completed. And so the number of the 251,000 is just based on the 60 employees at 31 businesses at $225 per employee being
Well,
tested.
I did the math on that, and it was over 400,000. You take
Yes.
60 times 225
yes.
times 31.
That is, I forgot to mention that based on just the information we got from Abigail Green, we expect a 60% participation rate among those 60 employees. And so because that we can't anticipate every employee that we offer this to taking advantage of this opportunity, we estimated that 60% of them would participate within that. And so the overall number then is then multiplied by 60% to get the 251,000.
And the cost per employee is stable across 5 years.
Correct.
As long as we're talking costs, I've got several, but we'll just start with the cost per patient that you'll be looking. What are your actual costs per patient?
Per patient, we have the cost of supplies, which per employee that we test comes to roughly about $8 per employee we test to cover the cost of supplies that we need. The actual testing expense itself, which calculates in the cost for the laboratory to run the test, as well as the attending physician to check off and give recommendations for those, comes to about $129 per individual tested, which gives us about, for individual tests, minus the variable cost, about $139 of cost, which will translate to $86 of profit per employee tested to cover the variable cost of the test.
One of my questions, and I'm not going to ask follow-up with the cost, but one of my concerns is that you may be asking for too little, right? I'm a little concerned about one cargo van providing, which serves as a centerpiece of your operation. And you're going to be transporting things daily to the lab, and you're going to be going from facility back to the office, whatever. I'm a little concerned. Why is it such a little tiny cargo van as opposed to a semi-trailer or something much larger?
Yes, that is based just on the feasibility of, like, we felt that the trailer would be a little excessive as well in terms of cost and then upkeep, and that through our research that we found that these cargo vans have the capacity to hold the storage units of all the supplies needed to make safe transport to the testing facilities, to the employers, and back to the office.
So all of the testing is going to be inside the facility as opposed
Correct.
to?
Not in the vehicle.
So does any of the equipment need calibration? I mean, so if you're bringing in and out of buildings all the time, so a lot of the equipment that we use in labs and other healthcare places, I mean, you have to recalibrate every time you come in. So how do you recalibrate what we can do to make sure the equipment is functioning every time you perform a test?
We would definitely have to look. We've looked at what equipment we would need and now the size of it, that we could facilitate moving it back and forth, but we'd have to look into how.
Once you obtain specimens, how much time do you have before you have to get to the lab?
Right. So we will deliver it to ACL at the end of the day on our way home back to the business, and then when we back to the business, we'll be starting. So at the end of the day, we'll pay the ACL.
And how quickly do the participants get the results?
So we guarantee 1 week, but we shoot for around 3 days. But we guarantee.
And how do they get the results? In what format do they obtain these results? Talk a little bit about the physician contact and what can you walk us through?
Yeah, so the ACL will then send those results to the physician. They will look over it and make sure everything is well, and then they will give recommendations to the employee, and then they will just email them back through a security.
So they get the follow-ups through an email. So not through an actual physician having contact with them.
What's your expectation once that's received? Because you're only going back a year later. What's going to happen in those 365 days in between?
We would partner with the business to, like she mentioned, the initiatives or the motivating to get participation. So we would partner with the business to get as many people participating as possible, and as well as customize the incentives. And then also we would encourage them to follow up with their own people because they have made a financial investment into this wellness focus for their business.
But you're not allowed to give the business the information, and the business technically is not allowed to ask for the information from the employee. So it's 100% on the employee
We
to
do.
follow up. So how do you manage that?
We would be able to give an aggregate overview assessment of their workforce, so we could be able to tell the employer, you have 39% of your employees are at high risk for this. And so that would be motivating to the business to say, okay, let's obviously treating everyone the same, let's motivate and see what we can do to lower our risk. So that when we come back next year, we'd be able to let them know that they have lowered their risk.
In addition to that as well, in the office, we'll be following up with them to give them advice on how to motivate them. And like you said, within a year's time frame, one of the things that we've seen our competitors do or have the businesses do is to establish, okay, you can decrease your aggregate results from year 1 to year 2, then we'll give you an incentive in addition to the 150 or whatever they decide to do the first time. So that would be something that would be on the employer that they could set up that would motivate them to decrease those high-risk results.
So the follow-up that you have is not with the individual employee, it's with the employer, or they're sort of interpreting the data, what you might do with the data, how you might influence the results in an aggregate fashion. And then any individual piece, I guess I'm still not clear, that's just all the employee, based on what I get from this.
Yes.
If I'm hypothetically, if I'm one of the employers that you're trying to market to, kind of just run through what you had told me as far as trying to get me to convince me to spend $225 plus incentives as far as a return on my investment.
I can answer that. There are two major benefits in addition to all the ones that listed. The major benefits are saving in short-term costs as well as savings in long-term costs. Short-term costs, our prices are approximately $50 less than a lot of the local clinics in the area. That if the employees were to get health tested there, that would be the cost there. We're also saving short-term costs with time lost to receive these tests. But the even larger savings are in the long-term costs. as Alyssa noted about diabetes, the cost to pay health insurance for diabetes is enormous if you don't catch it when it's still pre-diabetes. The same goes for hypertension and other major health issues that we can identify and help start the prevention process.
So I understand conceptually how there's cost savings. I'm trying to understand, okay, so as an employer, I'm saying that sounds good, but I'm not paying for the test. Well, now I am, but before I wasn't paying for the test because that was something that was on the employee as part of their insurance costs. So can you kind of help me understand the health savings cost is what I guess I'm getting at.
Yes, definitely. So our business model is most viable to self-funded companies. And so the difference between self-funded and fully funded, as you know, will be the self-funded will be paying for these expenses directly out of pocket. And so they'll be definitely more incentivized by that with our services.
Okay.
Do you have an idea how many businesses in your target market are self-funded?
We try to get research on that, but we do not have any conclusive results.
And frankly, that sounds to me like it's really your target market then, because others are really not going to be getting any short-term savings at all.
We do mention in our portfolio that from the beginning when we were marketing as sales associates, we will be trying to get in contact with insurance companies. And so as we build our business brand and our credibility, they will take note of that and we can help them because they have such low participation rates for the insurance. And so then maybe in the years to come, they want to partner with us as well so we can reduce their insurance claims to save also the insurance company.
So how many self-funded companies are there with only 50 to 200 employees? So are there a lot of companies that have 200 less employees that are willing to take the risk of their population like that?
Similar to the answer
And
before,
you
it's
said you
inclusive.
couldn't find that information. So
What percentage of employees today get an annual health checkup from the doctor?
We were not able to find that either. We reached out to many companies, but even from the insurance side, we tried to take it from that angle or the business, and people really didn't want to share information related to the health, the checkups, the employees, percentages, that type of thing.
But regardless of whether or not they currently get the health assessment test, we still are there to provide value because by bringing the test to their location, we are saving them time and resources that would be put into having their employees go to other locations. And if they're not getting the test, we provide the long-term benefits of having the test done.
A lot of our interactions with Brian Hughes at Seek in town and other business owners, they said that, or people in the community, said that they have a lot of people, they know this is a problem, the participation rates are such a problem, but like I said, we weren't able to get numbers.
So why did you limit yourself to manufacturing firms? Are there not other firms that have 50 to 200 employees?
I can answer that. Manufacturing firms is our focus of our marketing strategy. It's not necessarily the only firms we are willing to serve, but rather they're the ones that have the most need in the marketplace. From statistics that we found, manufacturing firms have one of the second highest cost of healthcare out of all the different types of industries. Additionally, loss of productivity from employees that are absent, particularly is a pain for manufacturing firms. As employees, if they have issues and they can't come to work that day, they have to try to find a way to fill that gap in their production process itself.
I have a question concerning Miss Wright, I guess Miss Wright the first. You stated in your presentation that you will be guaranteeing the safeguarding of information. So I've got a question for whoever is responsible for guaranteeing. What do you mean by guarantee? I mean, if the information is somehow leaked, are you paying damages? I mean, what do you mean by that?
Absolutely.
The other question I have is for the other Miss Wright too. Who in your company will be primarily responsible for HIPAA compliance, maintaining responsible for regulatory compliance?
So to answer your question, we have in our portfolio under risk analysis our 3 top risks, and one of those would be if we had a medical legal claim. And so in case that would occur, our first step would be, well, we have an umbrella insurance policy that will have a limit of $1 million, but if there's anything that exceeds that, at that time we would consult our attorney and then see what our next steps would be. So as far as HIPAA law goes and what we're doing to keep it private, Alyssa will probably be the one in direct contact with the results from the physician. And so she will really be working a lot with the medical information received from the data collections. However, I will be making sure that we are all compliant with those laws and information is not taken.
But what about the safeguarding of information too? The information's on iPads?
Yeah.
We will utilize a software system called Advanced MD, which is a medical software system that allows for the safe and secure transfer and download of data. It uses top of the industry encryption coding for all medical transfers, so it's not the emails and transfers themselves will be encrypted and coded within the encryption system that they have within the Advanced MD software, and so we'll be utilizing that in our transfer of data.
And if I could just stay right here one more second, what about the safeguarding of the specimens or the samples or whatever it is that you take?
Okay, so are you talking about transporting the?
Well, all of the above. I don't want. I'm sure Mr. Mothie doesn't want his work to be confused with mine and the wrong advice giver.
We will give each employee when they fill out the iPad, we'll assign them a specific number, and that number will be labeled on the specimen along with whether they have the CBC test or the A1C test, and that will be sent.
Is anyone doing a quality control check? Because if you're busy processing people at 15 minutes per, and you have to handle, how many is it per? If you're doing 30 some odd employees, it seems to be that's quite a process. Do you have anyone actually performing any sort of check on the?
That will be the paperwork person, the person who will know what the paperwork on the
Why did you choose an iPad instead of a laptop? Because a laptop has a little bit more power, obvious, and you can type a lot faster into a laptop. I mean, if you're going to get these people in 15 minutes at a time, how is that going to be facilitated on an iPad?
We chose the iPad because it was the information that they'll be entering into the iPad is somewhat of checking boxes, just general personal information.
Not
So
names, addresses.
they will be doing that, yes,
Okay.
but not paragraphs or anything like that. So we thought it would be simple and smooth.
Would you consider asking for the information before you arrive at the scene?
Does the software exist or you have to create it?
The advanced MD software?
Yeah.
It does exist.
Okay, so that's just a subscription.
Yep.
What's the cost of that?
That is $170 a month to have that system.
Are there other licenses or certifications that the business needs to have? I know the individual techs need to have them, but are there, what type of licensure requirements are there?
Sure, I can answer that. So we reached out to Abigail Green, and she said that we do not need an overarching certification to operate the business. There are certain, like WCOA, the Wisconsin Wellness Association. She said those are areas if we can get into their group, we can maintain or get credibility within the community, the wellness community. But she, again, Abigail Green from Health Check 360 said we didn't have to have overarching certification.
And so how is it regulated? Who regulates this space?
Well, I think for our like blood samples and the specimens that we collect is the FDA. The FDA that regulates all of this.
I still want to come back to what happens. So you take a sample, you give it to a lab, the lab sends a report to a doctor, the doctor makes a report, and the doctor sends the information to the patient. Am I good so far? Okay, what's the follow-up after that? What is your role after the doctor sends me my information? Are you checking with the doctor to see if the patient is followed up? Is there any communication that takes place, or is it basically, you did your job, you're done, off to the next point?
That would be the job of one of us office people, either Tyler or myself would be following up with a physician. and as well as doing a survey, text survey to each of the employees themselves to make sure that they received the results and make sure they are satisfied with our services.
Are you going to ask that employee what they've done with the information?
That could be part of the survey, what happens in the field.
Yeah, can I ask a follow-up question on this one? So what kind of doctor are we sending this to? A phlebotomist or a pathologist, I mean, or are we sending this to the employee's primary care doctor? What are we talking about here?
I can answer that.
Yeah.
We are actually partnering with several different doctors in the area. We realized that the amount of employees we are testing would be a lot for one doctor. So we're going to have a pool of doctors in the area from the partnering hospitals, and they will be taking those results, analyzing them, writing a report, and giving those back to the employees to either send them forward to their own employee, to their own doctors, or they'd be willing to take them.
And so what kind of doctors?
What kind of doctor is that?
It's just a general physician.
Have you considered perhaps collecting data on the employees as far as an existing doctor they have, and that the test results would go directly to that doctor instead?
We did not, but we suggested that they could bring the results along to their next doctors.
What is the price structure for the doctor who's involved, or multiple doctors?
The cost that we pay the attending physician to read these results and give their recommendations is $48 per test that they analyze.
Who did you negotiate that cost with?
I reached out to Chris Holmes, who is the occupational health nurse at Shorty Health and Rehabilitation. She said that that's what they do for their health physicals. They just reach out to a doctor. She said really the process is very simple, and they are able to just pay them that amount and they get the results within a day. She said, or within a day of the next day.
One of the other concerns I have is regarding competition. Who else is likely to do this? I mean, a colleague of mine, I won't tell you that it's Mrs. Fell, but it was Mrs. Fell, brought to my attention of, I think they're nationwide mobile medical services, much like what you're doing. What's going to prevent someone like that from coming in and doing what you're already doing?
Siri has the
I'll talk to
answer.
Siri.
Siri has the answer.
We spoke with Trisha Braun and some other consultants along those lines of competition, and there are other clinics that do something similar to us. However, the majority of the ones that are competition that are similar to occupational health and are not so specified with their test options, and that's what allows us to cut costs, allows us to have more of an incentive for these smaller businesses, medium-sized businesses, and so that's what sets us apart. If you look, a lot of ones that are doing this, such as Health 360, they target large manufacturing companies, and much over 250. So that's what distinguishes us.
So walk through why it's less expensive for you than
Yes, because we just offered the 5 basic tests. We're not occupational health. We don't have a trailer coming in and doing vaccines, flu shots, those kind of things.
Some of these tests, like if you're doing a blood pressure or diabetes test, you'll know somebody's outside of the range. What are you going to do if you test somebody with a blood pressure that's in a danger zone, or their diabetes is like right that instant in a danger zone?
I can answer that. When we go to businesses, we will have a manual that has the closest hospitals in it, based on the area that we are in, the phone numbers, and we will even be in partnership with them so that we can call them for an emergency vehicle if necessary. And if something like that happens, then we can call those emergency people, and then they can come in and take the employees as needed.
And what if they just tell you you're crazy on fire and get up and walk away or 3 feet?
They have to, yeah, if they want that, we can help them. If they need, if 911 needs to be called, we can call them. If their health risk is just very high, they have to take it next step.
Walk me through the sort of typical setup. Let's say that you've decided, we've asked you to come into this facility right now to administer these. What sort of device, other than some of the equipment that Mr. Pettigrew talked about, what,
Yeah. So we will, when we get to the place, we'll have the person who's been in contact with that business go straight to the business's contact person and talk through the procedures, while the other three employees will unload the equipment and set up.
what equipment?
All the equipment that we said.
Of course, all the equipment.
Right.
And here's my point, and one of the questions is, the attending physician, okay? What happens if you're drawing blood from someone and they decide to take a nap because they're not too fond of needles and they pass out like that right there? Do you have a place for them to lay down, or is it the floor?
We haven't thought of a specific place for them to lay down, but we have a process, like policy written out if this has to be.
Because I could see, I could tell you, at least one member on this panel. To lay down to give blood, right? So I'm not gonna name names, you guys.
Personal information.
That's HIPAA, no one can share it. So I think that is an issue that you need to address, which goes back to the size of your van. I'm just thinking that you're asking for too little, and perhaps putting too little out there. I'd like to see a bigger vehicle. I don't know if it would work for you.
I'm kind of curious as well, because you could be potentially challenged with the revenue that you generate from just the employers themselves. If you're obviously going to be, hopefully, creating a lot more business for the doctors and clinics, and you've already indicated you're going to partner with them. Have you considered maybe some sort of arrangements that you could financially make this advantageous as well to incentivize them to work with you?
Yes, I reached out to Doug Yeager at Aurora Medical Center, and he said that they don't do anything like that right now. And that's actually where I got the information that we could share the pamphlets, the handouts, and things like that. But he said right now they don't do anything like that. We could obviously recommend people and send them their way, but maybe if we're generating tons of people for them, we could maybe work out a partnership.
So when your van comes to a facility, let's say that you have a day set up for testing, and you set up, the employees aren't required to come, right? So what if no one shows up? Does the employer only pay for who shows up? What?
Yeah, that is all based on just our expected participation rate. So if no one does end up taking us up on that offer, then business will only pay for the tests that are administered to them. And so
So it could be zero?
hypothetically, yes, it could be. And
Could
so
you get
that's
the
just,
$200 back?
at that point we would, because it's a credit, it's just kind of like a down payment. And so that $200 already, once we arrive, will be reimbursed to them. And so if nobody shows for testing, we will give them back their $200 at their initial down payment, since it's going to be used to give them back the money anyways.
And maybe to decrease that, from your point, we could have them sign up, fill their paperwork, and even like have a time slot before we arrive, and that would cut down on that. We would know exactly how much we should spend.
So as a follow-up, June 1st of 2020, your sales are 20% of what you project. What are you going to do?
Okay, we would try to cut any extra things. First of all, we would definitely not plan to start a second or a first phlebotomist in the third year. We would cut that plan, and then we would try to cut back our assets. Obviously, we don't have that many physical assets, but we've thought through the idea of maybe getting rid of the van and transporting the equipment in our personal vehicles, as well as possibly, we would hate to do this, but possibly outsourcing our finance department while receiving or maintaining your third-party insurance. So that's what we thought.
We're getting close to the end of the time, and obviously you're asking us for money, so I'm kind of curious when you think of the proposal. As I kind of was looking through your numbers, one question I couldn't quite figure out is what's the value of the firm that you project at the end of year 5 to get to that rate of return that you don't guarantee actually, but you're suggesting that we're going to get.
So at the end of year 5, based on our projected amount of growth, as well as the risk of our industry, we're expecting the value of the firm to be $1.5 billion. That is just based on our calculations of our 9% growth rate for year 6, as well as a 31% kind of risk value.
So can you, yeah, sure, so can you explain to me why your growth rate you're projecting from year 5 to year 6 is 9%? When before that it's 30% per year?
That is based, the increase in the 31% is the expected capacity of going from being able to fill 4 days a week to 5 days a week. And so once we reach that 5 day, it kind of plateaus until we can make the next step of possibly adding on a new unit.
All right, good job.